First of all, why are you still on the fence?
Oh, I'm just not sure.
Okay. Well, I can't give you all the reasons, so you have to start me off with saying what you're not sure about, and then I'll see if I can answer your questions, and then I'll give you information. This is to do with building a better society, and a good society, based on values we all share. Now, there was a time when that happened in the UK, and that was in 1945-46, so the setting up of the NHS and the welfare state, and right now they're under siege, quite frankly, from Westminster, where welfare cap that's been agreed by all parties, including the Labour Party. We've had the NHS privatisation that's been going on, and even when Scotland stands up to these things, such as the bedroom tax, we do not have enough clout to stop it. So we have a situation where Westminster imposes things on Scotland, and we have to react, whereas with an independent Scotland, we're able to be proactive and change things for ourselves.
The bedroom tax. I'm actually with the bedroom tax.
It will be abolished. It has to be abolished, and I'll tell you why. I can understand why in some reasons you might think the bedroom tax is a good thing, but in Dundee, for example, 83% of people who suffer from the bedroom tax are disabled. So people who are disabled are getting told to you've got to turf out the house or find an extra £14 a week for the extra room, or £25 a week if it's for the 2 rooms. So we're having a war on our own people. And actually, I'm ashamed, quite frankly, to say I'm Scottish in some respects, because here we are living in a society where we're saying to people, no, you can't hear this and you can't hear that, and just because you're in an unfortunate situation, either through ill health or not being able to employment, we're going to blame you for all the problems that we're having. So, my suggestion is you've got to vote yes. Not just for you though, but for your own generation, the next generations to come.
Well, put it this way, I'm a gambler. I put 100 quid on the yes vote.
Good. I'll put it on with you, because we both agree. Excellent, good man. Listen, let me give you some information. So, are you a reader?
Yeah, I read.
Right, so there's a lot in here. If you want to read loads, read the white paper, but here's a sort of potted version. So things about building a real economy, more than the sum of our parts. It's from Business for Scotland, about childcare, making it affordable, which will allow mums to get jobs and get in the workplace again and contribute.
What about the NHS?
NHS will be, I promise you, the NHS will be kept public. It's one of the most important things, and very important to me. My mother was in the NHS all her life.
Well, it is to me, because I've got 2 disabled kids.
Yeah, well then of course then it's very important to you. My mother was severely disabled. Let me give you one example of the problem we have right now. My mother, she had multiple sclerosis. She was severely disabled in her home. And strangely enough, in the 80s, she got what was called the Independent Living Fund, which meant that severely disabled people could live in the care of their own homes. June the 25th next year, Westminster are scrapping it and leaving it up to local councils to deliver. Now the problem with that is it's a postcode lottery. So local councils are already strained. You don't know from one day to the next who's coming in to care for you. Nicola Sturgeon has promised on the same day we'll introduce the Scottish Independent Living Fund. To me that's fundamental, because that means we're a caring society, and no matter what politicians and whose pockets are in big business, we're holding them to account wherever they are. And if Scotland's more democratic, through the sheer fact we're independent, we can choose, and if they have policies that are going to harm our people of Scotland, and we can get rid of them. Whereas right now we can't get rid of these things that have been imposed upon us. Important to you? I totally understand your position. I'm glad you brought that up, because off camera, I'm telling you now, we want disabled to be protected. You need Scotland to be independent. It's fundamental, because all the parties, we're not just talking about the SNP here, all the parties care about this. It's very, very important. I had a discussion just 2-3 years ago, a nice lady, on the No Thanks campaign with Labour, and she says, we can have a talk about this, we can have a talk about that. I said, talking's over. Action needs now. You could talk for the next 30 years about a federalist Britain. You can talk for the next 40 years about how we're going to protect the NHS, but in the meantime it's getting sold off, and people are being harmed. And that upsets me, frankly. You can see I'm getting upset talking about it. It upsets me. I'll tell you, since you're on social media, look up NHS for yes, and you'll find out how it's important. In fact, if you've got a pen, I've got one. If you're in any doubt about what's going on in the NHS, I want you to go and have a look at a film. The film's with Dr. Philippa Whitford, okay? She is a senior breast surgeon in Scotland. She's Irish, married to a German husband, and she's got a brilliant speech which she talks about the end of the NHS and the end of a no vote. Just look her name up, you'll find the film. Her name is enough. That'll convince you and your family why we need to vote yes. I assure you.
Oh, you got my vote.
Brilliant. Yes. Will you take that? Look after your family. Great to meet you, Andy. Pleasure, all right? Take care, eh? Cheers now.
From Dundee across to Oban and right down the Port of Leith. They're going to ask the people, is independence best? I'm thinking bonnie Scotland, that the answer could be yes.